Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Case King Pro Series here at Low Fuel Motorsport. My name is Olaf, aka Wops Racing, and I'll be your commentator for tonight as we're heading on to this beautiful, beautiful track, Barcelona, Catalonia. Week 5. Last week we were out at Kyalami. We saw Sam Gasquel get the lead of the race at qualifying and never let go. These are the results, I should say. These are results from last week. Gasquel out first place, Minar following very, very closely, and O'Sullivan having to fight it out to get that third place. All very respectable drivers also all here today. So that is going to be a feast for the eyes. If we look at the standings, we can see Del Fonte out in front with a pretty big lead over Groenewald, and then we have Campanella in third with an even bigger gap behind. Gasquel takes fourth place with Rakhmatov down in fifth and O'Sullivan in sixth. Minar is jumping up to eighth place with Caracas in ninth. O'Sullivan has taken sixth with Godowski still in seventh, Van Rossum 10th. And these are the second pages 16 through 30 of the standings. Also these drivers here as well today. Going to see them do their qualifying laps in just a moment as well. Just want to run through these standings real quick. Collision for today. Track is looking fast. Temperatures 24 degrees in the air, 25 degrees on track. Currently 9 a.m. so it's only going to get warmer and warmer as the session goes on. 15-minute qualifying has started, and let's say we just get right into it. First car out on track is George Boothby. Goes over the line in the final bit. Don't think that's invalidated though. That should look just fine. Going to see what kind of lap time he puts on the board. It's a 43.245 with a big slide towards the final few corners. Gasquel instantly gets over that with a 43.2. Before we look at that, gonna take a quick look. The car manufacturers for today, lots of Fords on the track, some Hondas, McLarens, Ferraris, some Astons in the mix as well, and there is one lone Porsche somewhere in the middle of that. That's Hauben, currently in fourth place. And now we should probably look at this standing, this number. Sam Gasquel, first place, currently a 43.205 to his name. That is a very quick lap so far. Looking at the practice session we had before this, I was looking at the data on the website. It said the predicted lap time was going to be a 142.365. We've had a 3.605, thousandths quicker than the predicted lap time and about 9/10ths quicker than what we're seeing right now. So expect the lap times to drop a little bit more as the qualifying session goes on. Rakhmatov down in 13th place, 14th now, as we see Wasner Kisser go up to 6th place. Currently a 143.8 to his name as Groenewald takes the fastest lap, a 43.112. Definitely will not be the last improvement, as O'Sullivan is currently on a very quick lap as well. Improving by about 2/10ths so far as he goes through these final few corners. Is looking to be purple on pace. Carragas goes over the line. Boothby as well, 43.1. Now Sullivan still looking purple, and that's a 42.995, the first 1 minute 42 of the evening, and it belongs to O'Sullivan. Third place finisher from last week out in Kyalami, currently 6th in the standings. Needs this result, needs to do it very well. Otherwise, he's just going to drop back down the order. Currently 1,200 points away from first place. And we all know that the only thing standing between O'Sullivan and first place is just the first place victory. Look at the points that you get at the end of the race. First place, 1,400 points. Second place, 1,360 points. Third place, 1,326. After that, it just goes down and down below the 1300s, but victory will get you 1,400 points in this 60-minute race. Quick look at the calendar as well, so you know what to expect in the future. Next week, we're out at Monza. I'll be there as well. We've got a 2 race coming up. That means that there's a 20-minute race followed by a 40-minute race. That's 1/3 of the points gained in the first session, and 2/3 of the points gained in the final session. So that is 20 minutes and then a 40-minute race. After that, we've got Watkins and Silverstone, both, again, 1-hour races. Then another split race at Imola. And then 60-minute races for Suzuka. And the 24 hours of Nordschleife layout. Probably only be able to see about 8 laps if we go around that track. Maybe 9 if we're lucky. And then the final race, week 12, out in Spa, also a double event. Gasquel jumps into second place, but not before Boothby takes away that first spot. Currently a 42.877. A good lap, great lap. Can probably be improved upon, as Boothby is showing right now. He is, well, he was a little bit quicker, but now he's backed out of it. Let's see if Gasquel, his teammate, can do something better. Format for today, like I said, 15 minutes of qualifying, followed by a 60-minute race. There's one mandatory pit stop. That pit window will be open right in the middle of the race. It will be 20 minutes of clean racing, then 20 minutes pit window open, followed by another 20 minutes of pure racing. Fuel timer is fixed at 25 seconds. Tire change is not mandatory, as Minnaar puts in a quick lap, goes instantly back to the pits. That's a 1:42.857. Still half a second off the predicted lap times, so the quickest lap times that we've seen in the practice sessions. Gasquel not improving. Driver improving is Groenewald. Looking purple for now. Going through the final few corners is about 3/10 up. That is what he needs for that provisional pole. Goes over the line. That's a 42.777. Hopefully for him, that is going to be his lucky number, as he wants to take this pole position. Second place in the standings currently, 79 points behind Del Fonte. So a victory for Groenewald can basically almost guarantee him a place on the top step of the board. Gasquel goes over the line, and that is not fast enough to take away the provisional pole. Does put him in second place, and the margins are very, very fine. The top 4 within a 10th, as you can see on the timing screen. 6 minutes remaining in the session. It's looking lightly cloudy. The weather has shown to be dry all throughout, or at least the qualifying session will be dry all throughout. We'll have to wait and see if that is going to be the case for the entire event. We are in Spain, after all, known for heat, but also torrential rain. 25 degrees already in the air. The temperatures are only going to increase and increase. Cars now lining up to do their final laps. They can do about 3 more before the checkered flag is out. Gasquel pushing the limits, though. They're all following each other quite closely. Gasquel, though, our winner from last time out. Currently being followed by Minnaar on track, as he was in Kyalami. This was about the distance that we had between the two the entire time. And this is what we'll be looking at probably in the race as well. Fortunately, Barcelona, a track where you can overtake a lot better than you could in Kyalami. That being said, we're going to go on board with Sam Gasquel, winner from Kyalami. See if he can put it on the front row once more. Currently got Herpel in front of him, currently going into turn 1. Taking all the curb on the left-hand side, braking around the 100 meter, taking all the curb on the inside as well. Very bumpy track, you can see him fighting the steering wheel. Small lift here on the long sweeping right-hander of turn 3. As he heads on under the bridge to turn 4. Look at that, right tires all the way on the red and white curb. That's to show how much of the track they are willing to grab, even braking on it as well. Very dangerous to do in the wet but very, very nicely done on the dries all the way to the green stuff. That is still drivable. The uphill sections, 7, 8. At turn 9. Very patient on the throttle, just barely within the limits. On the way to turn 10, revised for the F1 calendar, but not yet for us. It's going to be a hairpin. Big trail brake into turn 10. A little bit of a slide there for Gascal. Currently not looking to be on an improvement. We'll have to see once he crosses the line. Also not in the F1 calendar anymore. These final chicanes. Has caught Herpel on his way. Final turn. Going to look at what he can produce. Rounding the final corner. Only throttle from now on. It's not an improvement. It's almost equal to his previous time, but not better. Minar as well, not an improvement. We do see O'Sullivan. The very, very fast lap so far. Who is improving and puts it on provisional pole. That is a 42.765. Now I'll tell you, that's 12 thousandths away from Groenewald. Currently in second place. Boothby up to third, pushing Gascal down to fourth. Still on that second row, but Boothby with an impeccable time, but not good enough for the front row just yet. Groenewald and O'Sullivan having that locked out. Still about 2 more laps if they do it right. There is some space. Groenewald right now on a very good first sector. Has to push the limits just a little bit more. Because he is currently looking at a purple time. Staring it right in the face. The margins are very, very slim. So if he's up a 10th, it's gonna be very close. Difficult corners around here. 7 and 8. Gonna see some track limit violations. Surely through these two. And also the exit here of 9. Very easy to go wide, but if you do, it's going to be some sand touched to your car. Boothby as well, going very quick, I should say. It's right ahead on the track. Gascal jumps to the 3rd place, displacing Boothby down another position. But Boothby has a yellow flag ahead. Should be clear by the time he gets there. It's not. It's 2 cars parked on the track. Hopefully he's not lost too much time with that one. Final 2 corners now. Grinding the curb. See where he places that car. Caracas goes over the line, and that is lap invalidated in that final sector. Boothby over the line, and that's a 42.672 provisional pole for George Boothby. And let's see if anyone can challenge him for that P1. Can still go for 1 more lap. O'Sullivan is in the pits, so that's qualifying over. Boothby surely thinking that final sector could have gone a little bit cleaner. Dodging between cars. Another driving thinking that should be Groenewald, as the checkered flag is out. Anyone crossing the line now will not be able to start another lap. Magnani up to 6th. Wasner had 8th. Dropped down to 9th. Goes back to the pits as well. Good laps being set. Brenham up to 11th. Del Fonte down to 12th. Is on an improvement lap. A little bit further ahead. Boothby still running purple as it stands. Very quick first sector. Gonna have to make the second sector even faster. Del Fonte fighting for his life. The championship leader. Needs to build some space behind. That's Groenewald. Only 79 points. Sam Gascal puts it in 2nd place. Now looking at Del Fonte. He's getting closer and closer to that finish line. Minar up to 2nd. Del Fonte only 6th. Unfortunately not close enough for the front row. Will be row number 3 for him. Boothby over the line. Not an improvement, but will stay in 1st. Groenewald goes to 3rd right behind. Now we're looking at Caracas A small improvement as well. 9th to 6th. Honzik. P14 over the line. Looking at just one final car now. Van der Meer. P17 goes over the line, and that's up to 14th place. And that is your current standings. Boothby taking away pole position in this 15-minute qualifying session for Barcelona. The grid will be right here. Let's see if we can get that properly started. There we have it. This is not Sam Gaskell. Have to excuse me for that one. The overlay has not yet updated. This is George Boothby. I'll always have to wait a minute before it does. Let's see if it has now. Surely has not. We'll wait for just a moment longer. This is the starting grid that we're looking at. So we're going to be seeing the cars go to red lights, meaning we have to wait a little bit longer. Once the lights go, we can have our formation lap. We can have a little look at what the cars look like already. So Boothby out in front, Minar on second place, had second place last week at Kyalami, didn't manage to get the overtake in. Gaskell in 4th. It's a good result, currently 4th in the standings as well. 1,000 points behind Delfante, who starts in 7th. Wasn't that phenomenal last week around either. Let's see if we can have this grid going now. Yes, we can. This is George Boothby out in 1st place, grabbing pole position away. Minar, same team, same livery. 2nd place with the Ford as well. Groenewald taking away 3rd place from our next driver. The next driver is Sam Gaskell, last week's victor, and now looking for more, hungry for win number 3 of the season. O'Sullivan on the back end of the podium will try to fight back there again today. Visceral Esports number 11. Then we have Caracas, 6th place. Lots of Fords here on the grid. Then our championship leader, Delfante, in the Honda P7. Followed by Lars Kisser in 8th place. Great qualifying for the German. Magnani in 9th. Number 16, Aston Martin, is followed by Kevin Brown on the 5th row in 10th place. Wasner right behind. Number 8 car looking to make up some places as well. Brenham, number 12 car in P12. BMW stationing up right in front of Foch, who's hit P13 for today. Van der Meer in 14th. Honzik, 15th place. Good final lap, puts him up a few places to 15th. Houben was quite fast in qualifying, but dropped down to 16th place. Then we have the McLaren of Piccolo, P17. 18th is for Rakhmatov. Number 31 Ford also looking to make up some places, as he is quite far up in the standings. Knudsen has P19 to his name. And then we have Gadowski, who's also quite high in the championship, 7th place. No business being down in 20th. He's going to show us that today in this race. Paul in 21st. One of the only Ferraris that we've seen. Ramonet, 22. Also in a Ferrari. Seem to be finding each other. Sav in a Ford down the grid. P23, Herpel saw drive ahead of Gaskell, being caught very quickly. P24. Escortia, we saw fight with the tops as well a little while ago at Kyalami. P25, Van Rossum. P26. He's got some business to do today. Marcus Fox in 27th. As we're nearing the end of the grid, we can hear the engines being turned on, and the formation lap is a go. So we still have a few cars to go. Krauk in P28. Here we have Bischoff, the number 7 car. down in P29. Ferrari 30th. Another McLaren on the grid. Bellic 29 car in 31st. And then last but not least, Zaza in another Ferrari down in P32. Looking at the grid. Quickly put up the manufacturer because this is an interesting one. The top 6 is all Fords. Right after that, a Honda of Del Fonte. Not a surprise, the championship leader. The first one of the different cars. And we have a BMW, 2 Astons, and a lot more Fords within that top 20. So one could say that the Ford is somewhat of a powerhouse in today's economy. Sector 1 completed now for the formation lap. 25 degrees on air, 26 degrees on track. Drivers all ready with their final setup adjustments after qualifying. Boothby maybe having set the perfect setup, not doing anything about it. Groenewald finding those final tenths maybe. Gaskel definitely fiddling with the tire pressures because we are going to have heat coming at the next hour. 9:33 a.m. 25 degrees on air, 27 degrees on track. It's increased by about 2 degrees already in the past 20 minutes, which means that the race will definitely have some increase as well. Maybe the drivers will struggle towards the end of this hour. A tire eater is what this track is. Turn 4, turn 3, long sweeping corners. In 2 turns, you rotate about 360 degrees. You have turn 9 as well, very fast right-hander. The left side will be absolutely blasted, as well as the final turn, the right-hander. The left side will be absolutely jammed. As we see the grid form, helicam for the start of the race. The number 1 car in position 1. Gonna be looking to keep that. Groenewald ready to set the action and to get the overtake done. Into turn 1, we'll have the inside line from what it looks like. This is on board with Boothby. Boothby has the inside line, actually. He's looking at the lights. The red ones right in front, waiting for them to turn green. Grinding the brakes to get them up to temperature. And we're green at Barcelona. Looking out in front, Boothby has got a good start, got away quite well. So we see Groenewald a little bit further behind. Minnaar actually in second place. There's some tapping behind. Boothby's all clear of this. That's Groenewald sending it on through from third place to second. And that's a beautiful, beautiful send. A little bit of contact, but that allows Boothby to just steer right on through. And Groenewald now on his way to lead this pack. Lots of incident icons on your screen on the timing table. So we do see Gaskel in a little battle. Appears to be side by side. That's O'Sullivan and Caracas behind, doing a little bit of a limbo. O'Sullivan around the outside, being left behind, and Caracas going on through. Another left-hander coming up, meaning Caracas gains that position. Will be ahead. Del Fonte looking as well into 7. That's a difficult corner to overtake. A little bit of a squirrely exit there. I believe that was Kisser in the BMW behind as well. Big train of cars now, all led by Boothby. Look at this view. Look at how beautiful that is. That's what we want to see. A little bit of side-by-side action. Some further behind. Let's look at Van der Meer having to slot right on by. There's Piccolo with the McLaren on the outside of 10. Might have himself a little go, sending his nose in. And that's Knudsen having to keep the space open because there was a McLaren on the right-hand side. Does fit his car into the right-hander here in the final sector, and that opens the door up for Godowski as well. Looking to make it 2, maybe even. That is around the outside of Piccolo. It's got the inside for the next turn. It's Godowski with the double overtake. And Knudsen being left behind as the first lap has concluded, and your action has not yet. Van der Meer on his way to attack Ramanan. Honda quite quick on this straight. attacking on the inside, not close enough to do anything yet. Gdowski, beautiful double overtake there. So we're going to have a quick look at the race gaps. This is currently the gaps between all the cars. Wasner in 9th place. Appears to be quite close to the BMW of Kisser, who's been shown to be unstable a little while ago. Gdowski now, though, trying to send it on Van der Meer. Just trying to take that position back. Gdowski at the outside line. Appears to be just a tiny bit quicker, and that's another position gain for Gdowski. Lost a few on the start, but got them all back just now. It's a good run so far. Verratti going down a place with Van Rossum. Getting an overtake done. There's some incident being activated between Bischoff and Verratti. Van Rossum being a mediator and getting right in the middle of this. And we do have a nice three-way battle here. I should say it's still a train, but it looks to be a three-way battle with Carcass in the middle, Gaskel in front. It's starting to become a little train. Minnaar 7/10 behind Groenewald, who's already a second behind Boothby. It's absolutely cleared everyone so far. But these guys are still fighting for P3. Carcass within reach of Gaskel, who also has the slipstream from up ahead. Groenewald still clear of Minnaar. Not much action so far. But we're going to be coming up to some big braking zones. Once the drivers are settled into a rhythm, I'm going to see a few more gaps start to form. We might be able to break the slipstream train. It's not even a DRS train, but it still functions very similarly. If you have the slipstream from the car ahead, you'll basically have immunity from the attacks of the cars behind, as they won't have the overspeed to get the overtake done. Carcass very much wishing that Minnaar goes out back from Groenewald. He's taken P2 very neatly into the first turn. And that is Gaskel braking very deep. Almost slipping up, but Carcass following right in his trails. Not a lot of action now. We'll see if that changes. Just a moment's time. Looking at the back portion of the grid, you see similar gaps as well. So the train really starting to form now. Carcass onto Gaskel, who wants to chase down his teammate and reverse the order that we saw last week out. It's Boothby setting a fastest lap. It's about a 10th quicker than the second fastest on the track. That is Minnaar. Currently looking to get back on that P2. Groenewald in clean air, doing a good job of setting the pace as well. Obviously has some pressure behind, and because he fought with Minnaar into turn 1, obviously going to leave some room out in front. He's out of the slipstream, out of room. We'll have to maybe have a look into turn 10. This train appears to have a little bit of a gap already. Delfante about a second behind O'Sullivan. No one even looking. Everyone just following in the footsteps of the rest. Let's quickly see if we can change the position delta. This is the positions changed for everyone in the top 20. We see Groenewald and Minnaar swapping around. Same for Carcass and O'Sullivan. Wasner taking 2 places. Magnani down 1 and Honzik up 4. In the middle of all that, Brenham still equal with his starting place, and Brown down a few spots. Let's see Paul and Ramonet 4 places up. Great starts from them as well. with Rakhmatov up 2. So those are some good numbers. Great going from some of these cars. Good starts from Groenewald. Unfortunately, not able to make anything of it so far. As Boothby just steaming on ahead. Got even faster on the last lap, but it unfortunately invalidated somewhere on the track. We see the same for Magnani. He's currently trailing behind a little bit. So this is the track limits that I was talking about before as well. So we see a little bit of damage on the right-hand side of Groenewald's car. That's from the contact with Minnaar into the first turn. Might see some scratches on the number 6 car as well. Boothby goes wide on the exit of turn 9. Do that one too many times, you'll get yourself a drive-through penalty. Could be quite killing in these races. Only an hour. Seems quite long, but in the end, it's not that long. So we've already almost had the first 10 minutes already completed. A lot more than just track limits being violated at this point. Lots of drivers taking those lines not too seriously, fortunately. You can lift a little bit and prevent yourself from getting that penalty. Groenewald matching the pace up ahead, keeping the gap steady. Of course, has to look behind him because Minnaar, right on his trail, is one big braking zone away from taking that position. Groenewald does not have the slipstream of the car ahead. So Minnaar in a prime position to get an overtake done. He's oh so close to the rear of Groenewald. Doesn't have the space to send it just yet. We'll have to wait maybe until turn 10 if he can follow through 7, 8 and 9. The delicate uphill. Set a foot wrong though. He'll be sent into the barriers. Lots of sand around as well. Big curbs on the inside, as you can see. This one's taken very generously. Small brake tap. Extra from Gasquel. More than he should have. Doesn't put him in any danger though. Still has that slipstream from his teammate up ahead to defend from behind. Groenewald now matching and improving on his pace. Doing all he can to get closer and closer to Boothby. But as it stands, he's going to have to do it on strategy. Still 10 minutes to go. 9.5 before the pit window opens. Then we've got a pit window for 20 minutes. Drivers having to go in. Groenewald sets the fastest lap. Only 13,000 though. Boothby still just that tiny bit too far ahead for that to make any inroads. Minnaar, because of this, fallen behind a little bit. Another 10.5 behind Groenewald. He's going to start to look and maybe create a gap. If Minnaar does not press the power. Further down, gaps have improved. Have increased. Wouldn't call that improving, but might just open up some gaps to allow some other cars to do some battling. Biggest gap currently on your screen, the only white number. It's disappearing every now and then. That's Rakhmatov, who's got 2 seconds ahead to Houben and 2 seconds behind to Paul. Stuck in P16, no man's land as it stands. It's all just a small train here at the front of the field. As you can see in the map as well. It's about one big gap in the middle. He's got Rakhmatov right in the middle of that. Boothby not too cautious with the track limits. Has gone faster once again. But lap time not valid because of that track limit. I will have to say though, the consistency of the guys out in front is absolutely astonishing. Keeps so close together. Gasquel has made a small gap in front. A bit wide from Minnaar as well to set himself up for a proper run through turn 3. Just maybe communicating with his teammate behind. Don't attack. I want to get this position. Gasquel obviously has to defend from behind as well. Got double threat from Caracas and O'Sullivan. Looking further behind though. Middle of the pack, Gadowski. Gained a few places already. Still in 19th. Got Piccolo and Van der Meer in that double overtake. Piccolo losing 2 at a time. Van der Meer and Gadowski going on through. The number 14 Aston Martin. Maybe looking for a bit more than just that one position. Doesn't look like he's got the pace right now. Ramonet way closer to making the overtake happen. Paul will have to defend a little bit. He's falling further and further behind Rakhmatov. Through the final chicane. He goes. He's got the slipstream. Paul most certainly does not. This will be one to watch. The slipstream is quite strong around this straight. It's close enough to make a send for it though. He's going to have a look towards the inside. Paul way wide. Ramonat through into turn 1. He's got a bad run through 2 though. Will hold up Paul behind the battle of the Ferraris. For P17, Ramonat taking the place very wide though on turn 3. Have to be aware of a send into 4. Doesn't happen. And that's a good move from Ramonat into turn 1. Take away P17. There's another battle for P9. A little bit further up ahead, Wasner. He's got the place, but Magnani is right behind. As you can see, he's followed by a few cars. That's Honzig and Brenham as well. And Wasner about 1.5 to 2 seconds behind Kisser in 8th. Scaps here, opening up a tiny bit, as you can see on the minimap. Small train here. A bit scrolly on the exit of Wasner. This time Magnani going to have a good run. Might do the exact same thing here that Ramona did on the straight. This is how close it is coming out of that final chicane. A little bit of curb grinding there. Sometimes you just have to Tony Hawk it. Magnani now real close to the rear of Wasner. Getting about half a tenth on that previous lap. Have to be a little bit more if he wants to make it into an overtake. Doesn't go for it just yet. Neither does Brenham. Got very close to Honzik as well. Doesn't dare send it though. This is the view back out in front. Groenewald still keeping pace with Boothby, keeping him on around 2 seconds. But Minnaar putting on all the pressure. This is for second place. 3.5 minutes until the pit stop. That's where we're going to see some strategy starting to get into play. Van der Meer still very close to catching Gadowski. Going to turn 9 now. Gadowski, with any luck, will get a small slipstream from Paul ahead. He's lost the position. Doesn't want to lose another one. Have to be cautious through turn 10. A little bit wide though. Missed the hairpin. Missed the apex. That'll be a little bit of a closing in for Kadowski. Just to watch out, because if he's not careful, he's going to lose 3 places. So there's Kadowski, then Van der Meer. Piccolo right behind Knudsen has joined it back again as well. The number 20 car, currently in 22nd place. Wants to be there with them. Gasquel in the meantime has lost Caracas a little bit more. Gap's still a little bit too big to do anything. Here again, the run to turn 1 is not enough for these drivers, but it might just be for Sav. He's gone on the inside of Herpel. Has to defend. Does it so with might. Krauk ahead. A little bit too far in. Loses some time, but not too much. Herpel, of course, losing a bit as well. And Sav was looking for it. Unfortunately, didn't get his nose in far enough to make for a competitive move. That's the position kept for Herpel. Looking on the inside of Krauk there for a moment. Might fancy himself a go into turn 10. This midfield fight is shaping up to be quite the spectacle. Looking ahead as well. Kadowski having to really look behind him, as we're doing right now. That's Kadowski, and you see Van der Meer in the mirrors. Very, very close. That's a send. That's Piccolo on the inside of Van der Meer. He's going to have it stick, though. That's a very daring send. Another corner to their left. There's contact. Van der Meer keeps the inside line, but Piccolo goes wide, and that is Van der Meer signing to Piccolo that he's not happy with that move. He's not happy with the contact, but it's the position for Piccolo. And Van der Meer will definitely send a little look down Stewart Lane. Just looking at another fight here. This is Krauk defending from Herpel, who's defending from Sav. Another 3-way fight here on the straight. Herpel this time has got a bit more speed. Going towards the inside. Has taken the position even before the turning point. That's Sav down to 20. That's not Sav, that's Krauk. Krauk down a place. And Sav looking on. Getting a good run through it though. Krauk in a bit of trouble. So we'll see him drop down. Maybe another place as Sav sweeps around the outside. Knows that he'll have the inside for turn 5. Just a left-hander will have in the brakes. And gets the position as well. That's Krauk down 2 places in just a few turns. He'll definitely be scratching his head, thinking, where did that go wrong? Run all the way into turn 1. Good move from Herpel. Put Krauk on the wrong foot. Stayed that way all throughout. Piccolo now quite close to Kadowski. He's going to have another one of those sends that we saw before. Tight line from the McLaren. Takes the outside line. Kadowski knows that he can still defend, but Piccolo very feisty today. Getting all the action that we missed last week. We'll have to defend a little bit. Van der Meer looking for revenge. But in the meantime, there's a big pile right behind them as we see Brown and Magnani into the pits, the first drivers to do so. The first stoppers have arrived as Brennan, P11, is now chasing down Honzik in 10th. Looking for that top 10 finish. So I believe that is Knudsen through and Van der Meer. Just barely missed that bit of action. It's Piccolo has just gone away with it. So that appeared to be quite a fight between the number 20 and the number 23 car. Don't think there was anything too noteworthy though. As the gaps out in front have increased a little bit more. Minnaar not able to stay with Groenewald, who has gained some time on Boothby. Have to pick up the pace if he wants to keep that first place. It's anything but over yet. Magnani and Brown leaving the pit lane now in that order. Number 16 car, the first of the stoppers. very early stop as well. It's after about 22 minutes. Have to last another 38 on this set as we approach the halfway mark, where I suspect we'll see a lot more drivers go into the pits. Maybe there's some strategy going on. We'll see some more. This is Piccolo. It will look from the inside from Knudsen. Did get past Van der Meer. And there's, I was going to say little train, but it's about 6 cars long now. So we do see Gadowski head into the pits, wanting nothing to do with his hairpel, following him right through Piccolo. Now the leader of this pack is going to be looking behind, taking the inside line over the marbles to defend Knudsen. Already on the outside. He's going to send it the long way around. Not if Piccolo has anything to say about it. But he will be on the back foot. Knudsen looking to go for the old switcheroo. The old dummy and send. Unfortunately, not able to go for it. And Van der Meer looks to have a little bit of a better run through this. But no changes in position here. Van der Meer now being looked at by Sav. He's got his nose in towards the inside, alongside the rear axle of Van der Meer's car. Ford has some power, but not enough for the run up to 7. We'll have to stick behind a little bit longer. Looking at the rear of his competitors, the number 23 car. Definitely still out in front. Maybe a little look into turn 10 though. That's customary. Van der Meer into the defense. And the Ford around the outside. Looking for it, but can't make it happen. Krauk, who's lost 2 positions a few laps ago, looking to join this fight and gain some back. Nothing substantial happening just yet. Well, we check in with our championship leader, Eric Del Fonte, still in 7th place. So it does appear that Foch got past Hauben, which is happening right behind this into turn 1. Should have been a straight overtake. Del Fonte close to O'Sullivan. It's not one known for backing out. Gonna make his life very, very difficult. As Van der Meer heads into the pits. Bischoff as well. Scorsha and Brown have come in before as well. Same for Gadowski. We'll have to wait until Piccolo pits to see if the undercut was worth it, or if that was the one to screw it all up. Del Fonte with a good run through 7 and 8. This middle sector proving very, very worthy of some good television. The Honda roaring for some more power, but O'Sullivan, the Ford, just a tiny bit too strong. There's nothing Del Fonte can do. But look at these tail lights. And a wish for a better run. Minnaar and Gasquel getting closer and closer to Groenewald. Shown a tremendous pace so far. Del Fonte might just go in. There he is. Feels like he's being held up a little bit too much. And goes into the box. Trying to see if the undercut will be a strategy. Saf now through this area as well. Might be struggling with the same thing. Got a car ahead of him. Will stay out though. Thinks that maybe he's got a chance. Maybe he's got a shot at getting the overtake. Nothing yet into turn 1 as it stands. Will he even have a look? Absolutely not. That will be following through. Looking at Saf now chasing Knudsen for P16. Del Fonte hopefully getting a bit more luck with this stop. Of course wants to be out in front because Groenewald currently looking to take away the championship lead as it stands. Got the fastest lap. I just make it stick. Van der Meer has gone in and gone out behind Gadowski. There's a small gap, about 2.5 seconds between the two. And that's the gap where Piccolo and Knudsen and Sav might be coming out as well. It's gonna be a close fight once those go into pit. Sav, small look on the inside. Decides against it with better judgment. Goes for the follow. Bit of dust being kicked up by the Ford. The number 30, that is, not the number 20. That's very stable as it stands. O'Sullivan gone in for his stop. Are we seeing Sav pull in as well? Nope. Sav is staying right out, thinking that he's got a shot at the overtake here. I believe. Don't think he's close enough from the looks of it. We'll have the slipstream, but that Ford is so strong. The car ahead might just be able to defend from it. Let's look on the inside, though, into the first turn. Side by side. That's Knudsen holding on. Getting the better run through turn 2 as well. Setting himself up nicely for turn 3. That's good defending from Knudsen. Sav's not done yet. Knudsen thrown out wide. Too early. Too eager on the throttle. Inside line being given to Sav, who's taken the position. That's the number 30 car up to 13th. Of course, some cars have stopped, so this is not net position. Still some drivers. We'll have to wait to see what their net place will be. Meanwhile, while all of this has been going on, this fight has extended. Groenewald has got some seconds up ahead. Gaskell has got some seconds behind him. Now a three-way fight with Minnaar in the middle. 3 cars fighting for these 2 podium steps, with Boothby a little bit too far up. First place for the number 1 car from pole to finish. We've been seeing that from Gaskell last week around. So Caracas and Kisser go into the box. Same for Foch, who has gone in just now as well. So the standings being all shuffled up. We see a big gap from Vosner to Gaskell. That's all because Caracas has jumped out of it. Minnaar very, very close to the number 15 Ford. Right up ahead. So we have now hit the halfway mark of the race. The pit window as well. The drivers will have to make their choice now. Do they go in at exactly halfway, or do they stick around for a little bit longer to shorten that final stint? And everyone up until P16 have not stopped. Everyone else has already gone in. They're on their way out or already in the track. Delphante out of the pits, rejoining right behind Caracas. Picking the fight up right where it left off with O'Sullivan right behind as well. Brown chasing down McNanny. Great exit point for him as well. A little bit worse from the looks of it for Gadowski. Still ahead of Van der Meer though. And that appears to be our top 2 in. That's Boothby and Groenewald into the pits. Minnaar and Gaskell out in front, P1 and P2. Vosner in as well. Same for Honzik and Houben. So everyone going in exactly halfway now. You see that little bell curve start to form. Knudsen in. 2, Krauk, Faraday, Fox, Zaza all in. Bellic will stay out. This is that bell curve, like I said, that I talked about last week. The opening of the pit window, we saw a few cars go in. Then with the pit window reaching around halfway, we'll see some more drivers go in. And then the final few cars will make their stops towards the end of this pit window. But of course, we'll be in about 7.5 minutes The drivers will have to go in. As Boothby currently back out on track. Groenewald back to setting in the chase. Gap has increased a tiny bit from the looks of it. It's about 3 seconds now. Was about 2 before they went for their stops. That is a curious case. Sav looking on the inside. Doesn't go for it just yet. Piccolo a bit too deep, and that is an opening for Sav to go right on through. Piccolo off the track completely. And that's Sav up to 4th place. Will drop back, of course, as he goes into the pits. Minnaar and Gasquel choosing to do so right now. We'll have to see where they come out in regards to Groenewald. Sav going in for a stop. Piccolo joining in right behind. And it's only Bellic and Ramanet, the number 13 car, and the number 29 car still in their stop. All eyes on Groenewald. Is that a slow stop? Or is that an opportunity for Gasquel and Minnaar to make their in-lap just a tiny bit quicker and take away that 2nd place that Groenewald's been fighting so hard for? Still in their stops for Gasquel and Minnaar. It's going to be nerve-wracking to be standing still, waiting for your crew to release. Waiting to be able to go. That's Boothby on through. Minnaar, Gasquel on their way out. There they are, lined up, and that's Groenewald still ahead, but marginally. And Caracas looking to split the two. That's 1 position gained by Caracas. So do see Bellic going in, and only Ramanet, the driver, yet to go in. That's Caracas splitting the teammates. The 1-2 from last week. And a beautiful early stop from Del Ponte puts him in 7th place with the fastest lap to his name at 42.827. Temperatures have not increased as much as I had hoped. But we will see some good fighting in this 2nd half of the race. 25 minutes left. Del Ponte dangerously close to Sam Gasquel. Multi-winner in this season of the Case King Pro Series. And now looking at a 6th place, 5th place after Ramanet has stopped. Del Ponte nowhere close for a lunge just yet. Have to wait another lap or so to try one again, maybe even into turn 1, but Gasquel is on the edge of the slipstream from Caracas. This Honda looking very feisty at number 4, trying to attack the number 2, even in these final corners, in this chicane section of the track. Slowest bit. Speaking of chasing, Caracas is on the rear of Minnaar as well. So it's all close fights. So we do see Escortia being overtaken, and there appears to be contact between Escortia and Piccolo. Going for a quick replay here. That's the wrong moment there. This is Escortia. Piccolo is the car behind. Will that be into the hairpin, or will it just be a small tap? That's a braking into the hairpin. That's small contact with Piccolo sending it on through, and Escortia losing 2 places. So that is unfortunate for the number 22 car. So we have to look ahead at Brown. Currently in P11, trying to go a long way around the Magnani. The Aston just not quick enough. It's getting real close on different parts of the track though. So just saw Escortia losing places to Piccolo and Knudsen, real close trailing Piccolo. Krauk has been joining this fight as well. Wants to throw Escortia down in another spot. The real fight is out in front. It's Caracas chasing Minnaar. Ramanet still up ahead, currently entering sector 2. Going into the fourth turn of the track. Miles ahead of Boothby, who actually is holding first place. As Ramanet has to go in on this next lap. Doesn't have too much of a margin. Groenewald losing some room to the car ahead. It's held on to P2 quite nicely. Boothby is taken back the fastest lap of 42.7. That will be a momentous lap. As Groenewald on the previous lap did not do that much better. We'll leave Minnaar behind a bit. He's got Caracas to worry about, who has been improving. Quickly look at the position deltas. You can see what really has happened here. Can't really, because Ramanet is still out in front. Let's just pretend everyone has another +1 to their name. Is that Caracas is up 2 places from where he started. Delphante up 1 as well. That's all due to the early stop that Delphante has produced. If you look at this, this is the amount of stops the drivers have done. Ramanet, currently in 0, has gone into the pits and will release everyone back to their rightful order. It does say that Brenham has not stopped. He has stopped, I can confirm. He has gone in for his stop. Boothby puts in another fastest lap of the race, 42.595. About 3/10 quicker than Groenewald in second place. And right now, the only thing you can do if you are Groenewald in second place is pray. I think that is the best course of action as it stands. Some more fights resurfacing around Piccolo. Knudsen, 22nd, still not close enough for Ascend. Is going to look for it though. Decides to back out again. No room for Ascend. Piccolo knew it. Didn't even try to defend there. Just holding his line, trying to get the best run that he can through turn 3. You've seen some drivers go wide here and lose a place. Piccolo does not want that to happen. Is at the McLaren. Great downforce car. Quite fast around this track, but not fast enough. Knudsen, no way on through. Can only look at the rear. 20 minutes remaining. The pit window has closed. So the final stop has been done. That was Ramanet. Dropped from 1st to 19th. Now we can look at the position deltas. Ramanet net up 3 places, but what's interesting is the front of the grid. This is what it looks like. Boothby has stayed the same. Minnaar on the personal best and a session best. It's about 4/10 gained on Groenewald, who has gained 1 place off of Minnaar at the start. Obviously the number 6 car trying to get it back. Caracas up 2 places. Gasquel lost 1. Delphante going up. And that is 2 cars going slowly. That's not slowly. They just produce some white flags. That is all. This is this fight that we're looking at right now. That's a Brown and Brenham. Wasner right behind with Magnani leading this pack. It's quite close here in the midfield. More so than at the front of the field. Do see Gasquel closing in on Caracas, trying to get back that 4th place. Not close enough to do anything though. And this is Wasner. Look at the rear of Brenham right ahead. Only a few tenths separate the two as they run through turn 9. Sun has gone. Let's see if Wasner can go as well. Small look. Doesn't go for it fully yet. That is a very wide brown. And Brennan almost able to capitalize on that mistake. There's nothing happening here though. Brown keeps going into P10. Looking for that attack himself, but Magnani able to evade it so far. That's real close to the diffuser of Brennan. Is Wasner in 12th place, the number 8 car. Very close at the front. This is going to be a look though from Wasner. It's on the inside, a small look. Brennan will defend into the first turn. He's got the inside line. Wasner might be able to make that an advantage. The inside for turn 2, and there's contact. Both of them slide around. And that's Brennan sideways. Wasner fighting with Honzik now. Brennan rejoins the track, and Honzik takes the place now as well. As Wasner has now joined a different fight. It was first Magnani, Brown, Wasner, and Brennan. Now it's Honzik being chased by Wasner, Foch, and Hauben. Been dropped slap in the middle of this. And Brennan down to P16. 3 seconds ahead of Paul. Now pull the gap as well. This is Foch going on through. Wasner appeared to leave the door open for a moment there. But squirrely from Foch. Will have to go defensive into turn 9. Not really a place you want to overtake. Not really a place we've seen any overtakes. The board's being smashed though. Wasner towards the outside as Foch. Definitely smart to keep the inside into turn 10. Leaves Wasner vulnerable though from Hauben. Just following through for now. These three are very, very close. Luckily no contact so far. Good reactions there from Wasner to brake. Right on time. And this is where it's going to get interesting. The final 15 minutes. This is where the drivers don't really want to hold anything back anymore. Wasner's got some damage. Have to leverage it quite well as well. Hauben is right behind. Wasner goes defensive here. He might lose the line into turn 2. We'll stay and hope that Hauben doesn't go for it, and he doesn't. So that's a good sight. This is Ramonet right behind Gadowski. Ramonet gained some places by staying out a little bit longer. Will gain one more if he does it like this. Sticks on the inside, but will be pushed towards the outside. Gadowski, bit better run through turn 2, and there's another one going around here. It's Van der Meer losing a place. That's Knudsen on through, as Van der Meer look to have a little look at a sight from the car ahead. I quickly look at it. This is Van der Meer ahead of Piccolo. Piccolo looking in turn 1. So Van der Meer losing one place right here. Can't really push the throttle all too well. And instantly that's Knudsen going on through. That's some great driving there by Piccolo and Knudsen. Piccolo with an opportunistic send. We just saw some action there, and that, I believe that was Ramonet and Gadowski switching places right in front of this. That was small contact, it appears as well. Minnaar now real close to Groenewald. He's going to go for the inside. There's a move for P2, and he doesn't go for it. He stays behind. And that was so close to being a move. So close to a send, but Minnaar knows better. Stays behind. Gaskel's got the same amount of room to his rival in 4th place. Carcass is in around the corner now as well. Go into sector 2. Boothby still completely clear of this battle. There he is, and there he goes. Groenewald. Mega defense against Minnaar. That is what he has to put up. Otherwise risk losing 2nd place. Let's see if they can do anything into turn 10. Minnaar still close. Small slipstream towards the hairpin. Doesn't go for it. Right behind as well. That's Gaskel. That is a send. That's Carcass recovering though. Gaskel a little bit too deep to make it happen. And Carcass regaining the place. Net zero change. That was a nice try from Gaskel. Doesn't result in anything. Now another try for Piccolo. As that's Knudsen looking for it, but Piccolo late choice to send it. Gets tapped in the rear by Gadowski, who reclaims the place, and that's Knudsen trying to make it 2. Like he's been doing all the time here. Now Piccolo got done by Knudsen. The way that he allowed Knudsen to get past Van der Meer. Knudsen up to P20. That is some good racing. And Piccolo down to 21st. Risky racing. And that's what it'll get you. P21 for Piccolo. 20 for Knudsen. 19th for Gadowski. Gaskel still real close to Carcass. Wants to look for it again. Knudsen and Gadowski though going at it. That's into turn 1. Knudsen on through. Gadowski can only look as his position is being taken. Gadowski even with what he was before. And Knudsen as well. All back to where they're supposed to be. That is what Knudsen will think. Very happy with that one. Look on the inside though for Gadowski. A little bit behind. That's Piccolo. Trying to make it on through. They're going side by side through turn 4. We'll continue to do so into turn 5. Some more contact, some more rubbing. And Piccolo takes the place of Gadowski. Have to look behind because this is Van der Meer. Also close to getting something done there. Close enough though. We'll have to stick behind and wait for another opportunity in the next 10 minutes. Otherwise, it will be game over. Brown still on the P10. Looking at Magnani in 9th. Driver to first go for his stop. Half a second is the gap, just a few tenths. Everything goes to plan. He might be able to get this position on the next few laps. Slipstream quite strong. We saw before. There's the look for it though. A little bit too early to do anything about it. Honzik hoping that these two are going to have a small fight. Because he really wants to join this and get into the top 10. Because the higher up you go, the more points you get, the better you look in the standings. Houben in the Porsche. The back of this three-way train. Porsche in 12th place. Wasner in 13th. Houben will have a small look for himself. As the Porsche has already gained 2 places from the start. Obviously wants to make it more. Already a small look towards the inside of Wasner. The number 8 car. Doesn't respond to it just yet. Knows that the number 5 is just a bit too far behind to make anything happen. Will he be though into turn 10? Yes, he will. That is not even a slight move from Wasner. He appears to be way more focused on the car ahead. As that's the number 18 car of Fudge. Holding on to 12th place. Doing quite well. Eyes all back to the guys out in front. Minnaar behind Groenewald. Minnaar's got the fastest lap to his name. But battling with Groenewald is only making the gap ahead bigger. Groenewald 5 seconds behind already. The number 1 Boothby is already clear. Even further now. It appeared to be a bit of a struggle after the pit stops. Boothby recovered well from the stops. Has increased the gap only further. Some more taps, some more bumps being given out all throughout the grid. We've seen more action already today than we've seen last week out at Kyalami. Hopefully in these final 8 minutes we're going to see some more. Especially from Minnaar trying to hunt down Groenewald. who's searching for the right camera. There he is. That's the rear view of Groenewold's Ford. He's looking at the front of Minnaars. Still quite close. So in the background we see Carcass and Gascal fight as well. And Gascal not close enough to do anything so far, but neither is Minnaar. The two teammates having a bit more trouble than they had last week. Too far away for turn one. One might presume bad exit for Minnaar. A good run from Carcass. This fight unfolding quite nicely as well. Gascal still not close enough. As we look a little bit further back, Houben on Wasner. We saw him on the previous laps. Around turn 10. He's going to be close enough this time to make it ascend into turn 1. No, he's not. Got to stick behind a little bit longer through the first sector. Has a better run from the looks of it, though. And Ragmatov too far behind to join. So Houben's got no danger from behind. Can go full cojones on Houben. On Wasner, I should say. Houben, the one on the chase. And Fudge leading these two as they go through 7 and 8 up the hill back to turn 10. And that is, of course, where the action can unfold. Wasner have to put up a defend. Further ahead at the bottom of the screen, you can see Brown chasing down Magnani as well. No defense being thrown just yet. Some more battles unfolding in the middle of the pack, though. Or should I say the rear? Scorsia being chased down by Krauk and Van Rossum. Krauk up 3 places from where he started. And this appears to be quite a big train. Scorsia in 24th, all the way to Fox in 30th. Look at that. Those are 7 cars, all trying to make their way up the grid, getting some more points on the board. And Escortia leading. Kraut not close enough, though. Does have the slipstream on Escortia. The number 22 car needs to go defensive, because this is the gap that the number 25 Ferrari has ahead. The Ford a bit too strong, but the slipstream might just be stronger. So we do see yellow flag for Paul a little bit further up ahead. We'll see what that was all about in just a moment. There's definitely contact between a few drivers. Paul has gone again. Does he have any damage? I don't think he has. I have to go to the replay for that one. That is not the replay that he wanted to see. It's the yellow flag for the number 19 car. That was from Piccolo. And that was the accident, though. That is Paul tapped off the track. Has to recover. Now 20th place. Remember, he was on the fight with Ramanet and Knudsen a bit further up ahead. He's now down a few spots. You can still look at this fight, though. Krauk got a good run through turn 10. Can about smell the carbon fiber on the diffuser of Escortia's car. Don't think that Ford will be smelling good, and Krauk thinks the same as he sends it into the chicane, gets tapped into the rear, spins around, and loses about 6 positions, as this fight has undoubtedly given him the worst loss of his race so far. Probably of what it will be, as he turns to the right, and that's Bellic. being taken out on the straight, and that's Krauk. Obviously mad at what happened, but that's not a move you want to do on the straight there, buddy. That is not what you want to do. Out in front, Minar on the bottom of the screen. Not close enough for a send. Looking at his teammate. Gaskel in 5th. Not close enough either. So these two just waiting it out. Not much to do for them. That's Honzik. The Honda having a small look. The inside of Brown. He's trying to attack Magnani. Honzik a lot further onto the curb. Can take a lot more risks. As Fodge is just over 1.5 seconds behind. So Honzik not too much pressure just yet. Can make a few mistakes before that becomes the case. Brown looking for a big send into turn 1 if he can get close. I think the gap is a bit too far compared to Honzik behind. Honzik, another look. Trying to be intimidating. Swasner gets back past Hauben, 13th. And that happened on the straight. Just as we were watching this, and that's a bit too wide for Magnani. That will be red on his report card. Nothing too worrying though. He's got a little bit of room to play with. No drive-through penalties from what we've seen today. One might call that fortunate work. Gaskel just not close enough, but that's Caracas with a small mistake, a little bit too deep. Opens the door for Gaskel. It's going up through 11 and 12, or has to go around the outside. But small tap with Caracas, making himself big, making himself wide. And that is Gaskel almost gaining a place now. Just like Krauk did, sniffing the rear diffuser of Caracas. Hopefully he'll be off better. Del Fonte will be joining this fight as well. Caracas using every bit of room that he has. And Gaskel with the slipstream, with the run into turn 1. We'll have a look at what he can do to Caracas. Is he going to have a look on the inside? He won't. He's selling the dummy. That's Caracas' small defensive move. That's got to be off the line through 2 and 3. This checkered flag is out. This will be the final lap of the event. And Gaskel has the better run. Is it good enough though? Don't think it will be. It's gonna have a little look again. Dummying out. Caracas must be scared out of his mind right now with all the looks that this Ford is giving him. Very squirrely there. Going everywhere. That's a send. Might have been contact. Caracas sideways. That's Gaskel on through, but losing the places to Del Fonte and O'Sullivan. And Caracas, the same thing, but also Gaskel and Kisser. That's 4 places down for Caracas and Gaskel. 6th place. That did not appear to be a very nice move from the number 2 Ford. Did wait a little bit for Caracas. It looks like we've got the commentator's curse on our hands now. Kind of scared to look out in front because I really don't want Minar to have the exact same fate. But for that, we'll have to look ahead because Boothby has just crossed the line and taken the victory in Barcelona. Week 5 is to his name. From pole position to 1st place finish, George Boothby, the winner of the Barcelona Week 5 of the Case King Pro Series at Low Fuel Motorsport. Groenewald takes home P2, Minar in 3rd place, rounding out the podium. Del Fonte in 4th, then O'Sullivan and Gaskel home in 6th. Kisser, the bit of luck, up into 7th. Caracas in 8th place. Look at the runs all the way down to P14. It's going to be Magnani, Brown, Honzik, Fodge, Hauben, and Wasner. We now have Brennan around the final corner as well. Holding P15, Ramanet with a great race, up 6 places from 22nd to 16th. Knudsen and Piccolo through as well. And that is going to be 16 for Ramanet, 17th for Knudsen, 18th for Piccolo. Paul 19th, Rakhmatov losing one more place towards the end. Gdański 21st, 22nd for Van der Meer. There's quite some penalties being handed out. As you can see on the screen, those were the penalties. That's where all the places have gone. But your victor is George Boothby, and the #1 car getting pole position by slim margins. And holding that from P1 all the way to the end. That was one beautiful race, if I do say so myself. Lots of action, lots of fighting, some good movements up and down the order. That means we're gonna have a look, see who will be joining this interview. Gonna have the casting booth right here. I want to go from Minar to first place. So first of all, going to drag Minar in. Good evening, Minar.
Evening.
Welcome back to the commentary box. Another podium, third place this time around. How was the race?
Yeah, eventful. I think lap 1 it was pretty interesting. I mean, you know, I'm a bit frustrated about it, but you know, it's over. It is what it is. After that, we just focused on trying to get past Toby. Obviously, that did not happen. But yeah, I've got to give it to Toby that he drove so well in the last stint. Like his late stint tire wear was incredible. Like I could not do anything against that. So I'm pretty happy with P3. Obviously, my teammate behind me crashed while trying to get past Granta, so that's also a bit bittersweet, you know, for us. But and then also Georgia winning, you know, so it's a very bittersweet feeling for me because I feel bad for Sam and I feel good for George and I feel good for my P3. But yeah, that was a fun race. That was a very fun race.
Yeah, we were looking at you trying to get past Groenewald, and then we had the same with Sam Gaskel, of course, trying to get the overtake. You guys were in the voice chat, I assume?
Yes, all three of us. Yeah.
What was it like when you two were both trying to overtake someone and George out in front, just freely, happily roaming around?
So we had no comms. I think after we saw that Grantus pipped Sam, and then I just thought, listen, I'm gonna try and get past Toby, and you try and get past Grantus, and we see what happens. And yeah, we just get stiffened until the last lap. And when I saw Grantus and Sam crash, I was like, okay, well, yeah, now's not the time to undeafen. I think Sam is seeing red. So yeah.
Well, if you can extend my sincerest apologies, as I believe that the commentator's curse has been struck about 3 times today, and I do believe that the Gascal was one of the victims there today. So yeah, do extend my apologies in case the Gas's curse has arrived. But anyway, good podium. Congratulations on P3, and let's hope that you get the same in Monza next week.
Thanks, cheers.
That was Philip Minar. Now on to our winner, as Groenewald has not thrown himself into the waiting room. We'll have Boothby. George Boothby, welcome.
Hey!
Oh, that's very loud. Give me 1 second. All right. Congratulations on the win. I was going to ask how the race was, but I can think in your mind that it's going to be very uneventful.
It was eventful in the way I was just in hot lap mode endlessly and looking at the delta endlessly, and it was really difficult to just push that hard, especially in stint 1, because I pulled away a little bit at first, and it may have seemed like I was controlling the gap, but I was absolutely flat out, and the gap was sort of coming up, going down, coming up, going down. But thankfully, the second stint I had the pace on Grunwald, but yeah, that was it was a really sweaty race for me. And I got quite lucky in quali as well, because on my pole lap, 2 people crashed in the final chicane, and I had to swerve around them. So I think without that, we could have been like pulled by quite a bit, because it was a very good lap. But thankfully, we did enough still. So proper nail biting, hoping no one would beat it. But yeah, that obviously made the race, and yeah, I'm so happy.
Yeah, I was with you on that pole lap, and I did see the yellow flag. I was hoping they'd be gone by the moment you got there, and I saw you swerve around. I was hoping you'd go for another lap, because that was one banger of a lap. Could have gone a little bit further, and like you said, close margins out in front. And same for the race. You got a little bit of a gap as Minar, your teammate, got sent on by Groenewald for into turn 1 for second place. And after that, the gap about 2 seconds the entire time. Was a little bit hopeful that maybe the pits would shake it up, but your second stint was absolutely amazing. Very good pace, and yeah, fastest lap being thrown around as well. Don't know who got it in the end, but I believe it was someone a little bit further back, but at least you could take the victory home and be very happy about that. So congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. And shout out to, obviously, all the LFM team, 255, and the sponsors, and all the Twitch chat, all the people watching, YouTube chat as well. You guys for supporting me and obviously supporting the LFM stream as well. Thank you, guys.
And thank you from me as well.
Cheers.
All right, see you, man.
Take care.
All right, that was our winner, Boothby. We don't have Groenewald here, unfortunately. We'll have to come one other time. So that means that this broadcast has come to an end. Thank you all so much for joining on this ride at Barcelona. Next week out, we're going to have Monza. I'll be there again. It's going to be a 20-minute into 40-minute race. So that's going to be a double action-packed 2 turn 1 sends. And of course, it has to be Monza for that one. So thank you all so much for joining me today. I've been Olaf, aka Wops Racing, your commentator for tonight, as we will see you again next week. Goodbye.